Good day, everyone. My name is Tope Shola Akinyetun. I am from Nigeria, and I'll be speaking on the role of youth in promoting peace and conflict reconciliation in Africa, policy implications. Promoting sustainable peace is a major concern for regions of the world, especially for the ones that have been immersed in recurring conflict and violence as found in many African states. Many of these African nations are characterized by various challenges such as ethno-religious conflict, identity-based violence, boundary disputes, genocide, insurgency, and youth restiveness, among others. Now, countries like Nigeria, Ethiopia, Chad, Niger, Burkina Faso, Mali, Burundi, Mozambique, Kenya, and Republic of Congo and South Sudan are plagued by various forms of armed conflict. And these conflicts are a result of dynamics such as corruption, climate change, identity-based contestation, state weakness, and more recurrently, marginalization, deprivation, and inequality. Now, these dynamics tend to coincide with Africa's position as a continent of youths, so to speak. Africa is a youthful population, and therefore, the availability of youths and their pre-existing socioeconomic conditions such as deprivation and marginalization makes it a fertile ground for youth restiveness, for insurgency, and for violence and conflict to thrive. To be sure, the role of youth in violence in Africa has been explored by various scholars. And one thing for sure is that the narrative of youth as being enablers of conflict has to be changed. Observably, it has been recorded that not all youths in Africa give in to violence. As a matter of fact, many youths in Africa have taken the other way. For example, since the 1990s, youths have been said to be at the epicenter of violent conflict in Africa. Yet, a majority of them have decided to choose paths of peace. And that is why it is important that we look at the role of youth in promoting peace and conflict resolution. This is imperative considering the fact that Africa is a continent of a burgeoning youth population. And it is projected that the population of youths in Africa will grow or increase to 3 billion by 2063. And by 2050, 1 out of every 3 youths will live in sub-Saharan Africa. So this underscores the importance of this discussion. Now, who is a youth? The concept of youth is contestable, and it has been viewed from 3 major angles. One is the age group, the social construct, and then the gender dimension angle. That is, some people view youth as belonging to a particular cohort, say 15 to 24 years, 18 to 35 years, as the case may be. Then, some scholars tend to view the concept of youth from the social construct angle. That is, when young people begin to ascribe or take on responsibilities such as voting, marriage, and so on, then they are said to be transitioning into adulthood, and therefore they are youths. And the third variation is the notion that looks at the gender dimension. That is, the social expectation of boys and girls differ at particular stages of their lives. That is, at the point where boys are beginning to grow, they experience expansion and freedom, while females may, by virtue of cultural norms, experience restriction. So these are gender dimensions that affect the concept of youth. However, let's look at youth as agents of peace and conflict resolution. Now, youths of many African nations have been able to distinguish themselves as agents of peace. As a matter of fact, a lot of youths have contributed a quota in addressing social issues that are plaguing the continent, such as electoral violence, terrorism, and famine. They have become advocates of civic engagement and community development. For example, the youths in Nigeria use their social platform handles to campaign against Boko Haram's abduction of over 200 schoolgirls in Chibok, Borno State, using the hashtag Bring Back Our Girls. Although this did not bring back the girls, but then it not only spurred the government to stand on its toes, but it also brought international attention to that particular phenomenon. Then, when we move on to the Democratic Republic of Congo, we see youth under the aegis of the National Partnership of Children and Youth in Peace Building that are using arts to promote peace and as well build cohesion. Now, they build trust and encourage healing from disaster through music, poem, and other forms of artistic expressions. In South Sudan, youth use sports to build trust, while even in Nigeria, youth use cultural exchanges and interfaith events to promote peace. Now, concerning Boko Haram, youths have been able to, at one point in time, mobilize themselves and provide tactical support to the multinational joint task force that was set up by the government. They acted as liaisons by gathering information and assuming the role of community police to complement the efforts of the task force. In areas like Maiduguri, Nigeria, they formed a civilian joint task force to track Boko Haram members and as well mount several checkpoints. In that regard, they have been able to act as partners to security forces in ensuring peace in their environment. In northern Mali, where we have a proliferation of separatism and rebellion, even uprising, we've seen youths rise up to the challenge and use entrepreneurship through the popularization of graffiti, blog writing, and other forms of entrepreneurial activities to combat their situation. Then, according to the African Union 2020, there are a plethora of programs that have been organized by youths in Africa. An example is the Sweet Art Africa, a youth peace consortium in Yaoundé in Cameroon that promotes the culture of peace and tolerance among youths using arts. Then we have the Global Peace Chain in Chad that uses sports, arts, and education to promote harmony between communities. Then, even in Cameroon, there's another one that is called the Life Aid. It's a youth initiative inclusion program that engages youth in sustainable peace building. Then there is the Batwa Development Organization in Uganda. Stories from Algeria, that's in Algeria, where youths are trained in the art of storytelling and using the art of storytelling as strategies to deal with identity issues. So these are ways in which youths have been able to engage themselves and promote peace. Not only that, they also engage in civic rights advocation. They have been able to advocate for accountability and transparency by the government. Then in Ghana, we've seen Youth Peace Brigade, where youths used their forum to mediate and ascribe leadership roles to themselves. So it is important that we capitalize on the fact that youths are agents of peace. Then what are the policy recommendations to take from this? One, it is imperative that African leaders institute or establish African Youth Assembly and Youth Parliament that would prepare youths in the heart of governance and decision making. With this, youth can find youth-based solution to youth-based challenges plaguing youth all around Africa. Then, attention must be given to local governance in various communities in Africa. I also recommend that African leaders should create a youth participation commission. This commission will be responsible for making policies to improve youth representation in various levels of government, local, state, and federal. Now, so when youths have a sizable number in every elective positions, then their representation will increase over time. I also recommend peace education to be a compulsory subject to be taken in all schools at every level, primary, secondary, and post-secondary. More so, peace programs must be encouraged, and we must capitalize on Youth Empowerment Commission. This commission will be responsible for sponsorship, transfer programs, policy internship, and fellowship programs for African youths within Africa so as to prevent brain drain. So on this note, I will end by saying that youths are not agents of destruction. Youths are agents of change. Youths are important to the campaign for peace in Africa. Youths are instrumental to conflict resolution, and youths are the building block to the peaceful world that Africa desires. Thank you for listening.